The 2-minute rule for ultimate productivity. We are drowning in a sea of microstressors. When people think about burnout, they usually blame massive, complex projects or overwhelming career responsibilities. But if you look closely at human psychology, true mental fatigue rarely comes from the big mountains we have to climb. It comes from the thousands of tiny pebbles we carry in our pockets every single day. Every unanswered message, every unfiled document, every small decision postponed creates a tiny, almost invisible leak in your cognitive energy reservoir. Individually, they seem completely harmless. But collectively, they form a massive weight that keeps you paralyzed in a state of chronic procrastination. Today, we are breaking down a psychological framework that can instantly cure this mental paralysis. The 2-minute rule. We will explore the science of cognitive friction, how microtasks destroy your executive function, and how to weaponize this rule to clean your lifestyle and double your daily output. The anatomy of cognitive friction. To understand why small tasks cause so much damage, we must explore how your brain manages open loops. Every time you notice a task that needs to be done, such as putting an invoice into a folder, replying to an urgent client text, or updating a line item in a spreadsheet, and you tell yourself, "I'll do that later," your brain registers that as an uncompleted cycle. Your subconscious mind does not understand the difference between a minor task and a multimillion-dollar contract. It simply tracks it as an open loop. Your working memory is highly limited, can only hold a few pieces of active information at once. When you accumulate dozens of open loops, your brain's processing speed drops significantly. You become irritable, exhausted, and easily distracted because a massive percentage of your cognitive power is dedicated to holding on to things you have postponed. This is what we call cognitive friction. It is the friction that makes starting any major work feel incredibly difficult. The 2-minute rule is the ultimate weapon against this friction. The rule states, if an action takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it the exact moment it appears. Do not write it down. Do not schedule it. Do not put it on a list. Execute it immediately. The accumulation effect and operational leverage. Let's analyze the mathematics of the 2-minute rule. Why not just write all small tasks down on a list and do them at the end of the week? Because the administrative cost of managing the task is often higher than the execution cost of doing the task itself. Think about it. When you decide to postpone a 2-minute email reply, here is what actually happens. First, you read the email and spend 1 minute thinking about it. Second, you decide to do it later, which takes cognitive energy. Third, you open your to-do list app, write down the task, and categorize it. Fourth, later in the week, you review the list, read the task again, and recall the context. Fifth, you open your email app, search for the email, read it a second time, and finally type the response. A task that should have taken 90 seconds has now consumed 5 separate blocks of your cognitive attention and 10 minutes of cumulative time. Multiply this by 20 tasks a day, and you are losing hours of premium production time every single week just managing your procrastination. By executing 2-minute tasks immediately, you eliminate the administrative overhead of your own life. You clear the field instantly, leaving your calendar wide open for massive, high-leverage business expansion. The Newtonian physics of productivity. There is a deep connection between the laws of physical motion and human productivity. Sir Isaac Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an external force. The hardest part of any major project is almost always the initial friction of starting. When you are sitting on the couch scrolling through your phone, your momentum is zero. Transitioning from that state into deep creative architecture feels like pulling a heavy train. The 2-minute rule can be used as a psychological trick to bypass this initial inertia. If you are procrastinating on a massive project, like developing a comprehensive business proposal, don't tell yourself you need to finish the whole thing. Instead, apply a variation of the 2-minute rule. I am just going to open the document and write for exactly 2 minutes. Once you overcome that initial 2 minutes of friction, you enter a state of motion. Your brain stops focusing on the pain of starting and begins focusing on the rhythm of execution. A task that started as a minor 2-minute commitment naturally evolves into an intense, multi-hour flow state. Small actions are the gateway to massive achievements. The 2-minute audit. Implementation lab. How do we implement this rule without letting it become a distraction? This is where many people get it wrong. They let 2-minute tasks interrupt their deep work blocks. That is an operational failure. Here is the professional protocol. The 2-minute rule applies during your active administration blocks, your morning's transitions, or when an emergency task lands on your desk that cannot be avoided. Let's run a real-time audit of what falls under this rule in a modern tech and creative design agency context. First, digital asset organization. Downloading a master file from a client and immediately putting it into the designated cloud storage folder rather than leaving it in your downloads folder. Second, transaction clearance. Approving a pending software subscription or sending a standard payment link to a client. Third, internal communication. Confirming a meeting time with a simple confirmation text or dropping an update into a team channel. Fourth, physical space optimization. Cleaning your immediate desk surface, throwing away old notes, and keeping your monitors crystal clean. By clearing these tiny micro-hurdles instantly, you create a seamless physical and digital workspace that radiates clarity and professional control. An elite lifestyle is not built on a single massive decision. It is built on the consistency of 1,000 micro-decisions. When you commit to a lifestyle of zero open loops, you free up your mental bandwidth to focus on what truly matters. Scale, impact, and freedom. Stop carrying pebbles in your pocket. Start applying the 2-minute rule today and feel the immediate relief of a clear, high-performing mind. If this breakdown brought clarity to your workflow, smash that like button, subscribe to Shift Flows for premium structural insights, and tell us in the comments. What is one small task you have been avoiding that you are going to finish right now? Let's get to work.